हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माइलस्टोन टॉक्स। आज हम फिर एक नई कहानी के साथ आए हैं। वीडियो को स्टार्ट करने से पहले बेल आइकन पे जाके उसे सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। तो चलिए आपको सुनाते हैं एक दिल दहला देने वाली कहानी जो आजकल हमारे ही चारों तरफ हो रही है। द अफगानिस्तान क्राइसिस, दैट इज़ द टेरर ऑफ तालिबान। अमरीकी सेना की वतन वापसी के 15 दिन बाद पूरा अफगानिस्तान तालिबान के हाथों ढह सा गया। इस समय तालिबान का अफगानिस्तान की राजधानी समेत 34 में से 27 प्रांतों पर पूर्ण कब्जा है। अफगानिस्तान के इस समय 2/3 हिस्से को तालिबान छिटपुट लड़ाई के साथ जीत चुका है। 75,000 के कुछ ज़्यादा तालिबानी लड़ाकों के सामने जिस तरह से अफगानी सेना के 3 लाख से भी ज़्यादा सैनिकों ने बिना जंग के हथियार डाल दिए, उस पर पूरी दुनिया चकित है। एक्सपर्ट्स का मानना है कि सिर्फ 10 दिनों में अफगानिस्तान के 27 प्रांतों पर कब्जा करने वाले तालिबानी लड़ाकों को अफगानी सेना की तरफ से ज़्यादा प्रतिरोध नहीं झेलना पड़ा, और इसकी बड़ी वजह अफगानी सेना से बजट में सरकारी भ्रष्टाचार रहा है। So who are the Taliban? The Taliban were born out of the Mujahideen fighters who opposed the Russians during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, which began in 1979. Founded by Mullah Muhammad Omar, a local imam in Kandahar in 1994, they were initially formed of a small group of madrasa students who were angry at the depredations of the warlords in the civil war that followed the Soviet withdrawal in 1989. Their influence rapidly spread over the following 2 years. So what do the Taliban believe in? The Taliban are often portrayed as employing a narrow interpretation of Islamic Sharia law, inspired by the Deobandi fundamentalist school. However, by 1998, during their first period in power, which ended with the US-led invasion following the 11th September 2001 attacks, the Taliban issued their own harsh and sometimes extremist interpretation of Islamic life, equally inspired by the Pashtun tribal code, the Pashtunwali. This pushed women from public life, mostly barred them from working or studying, and confined them to their homes unless accompanied by a male guardian. Public executions, floggings were common, Western films and books were banned, and cultural artifacts were seen as blasphemous under Islam were destroyed. Some have suggested that the latest iterations of the Taliban, whose name means the students, has the potential to be more moderate than during the period from 1996 to 2001, but that has prompted skepticism among others. In the immediate aftermath of their lightning conquest of Afghanistan, including the capital Kabul this summer, there have been worrying indications that little may have changed, as images showing women have been painted out. Guards reportedly posted outside the homes of prominent women, including politicians and opponents, have reportedly been murdered. अफगानिस्तान भर में तालिबान के कब्जे के बाद से कई दिलकराश वीडियो सामने आ रहे हैं जो लोगों के रोंगटे खड़े करने के लिए काफ़ी हैं। इसी तरह का एक वीडियो काबुल एयरपोर्ट से सामने आया है, जिसमें देखा जा सकता है कि अमेरिकी सेना की एक विमान से कम 3 लोग गिर रहे हैं। वीडियो में देखा जा सकता है कि विमान आसमान में उड़ रही है और 3 लोग उस पर से एक-एक करके ज़मीन पर आ जाते हैं और उनकी वहीं पर मौत हो जाती है। दरअसल ये वीडियो है 3 ऐसे लोगों की जो अफगानिस्तान के तालिबानी रूल से मुक्त होना चाहते थे और अमरीकी जहाज के मदद से कहीं और जाना चाहते थे। तो तीनों ने विमान के टायर पर चढ़कर बाहर जाने की कोशिश की, पर तीनों की वहीं पर मौत हो गई। The brutal war in Afghanistan reached a watershed moment on Sunday when Taliban insurgents closed in on Kabul before entering the city and taking over the presidential palace, forcing embattled President Ashraf Ghani to join fellow citizens and foreigners to flee the country. How will they govern? As Ahmad Rashid noted in his authoritative 2000 history, Taliban published before the fall of the first Taliban regime, a fundamental problem of the group then was that it was essentially caught between a tribal society which they tried to ignore and the need for a state structure which they refused to establish. When the Taliban took power, as the former Afghan Deputy Minister of Defense Tamim Asseh has pointed out that they had no funds and no plan or program for governance beyond a vague and generalized idea of a government based on the Sharia system. Have they changed? This is the key question. As Thomas Ruttick suggested in a paper for the Combating Terrorism Center's Sentinel in March, he stated that during their resurgence post-2003 and particularly their expansion in non-Pashtun areas, the Taliban increasingly proved that they were a learning organization. Awareness grew within their movement that their own repressive policies had resulted in global isolation as well as opposition from many Afghans, including those who had initially welcomed the Taliban when they almost ended the interfractional wars of the 1990s. That has been evident in some pragmatism and a greater openness in terms of foreign policy. So, who will be driving whatever form of government emerges? This is a question that everybody wants to hear the answer to, and that is one not entirely clear. The Taliban's leadership and decision making structures are complicated, incorporating different networks. However, it has been suggested that the Taliban were most interested in wanting to pursue a top-down, centralized form of government, including an Iranian model with a religious council over an elected president. So, what about issues such as women's rights? The new iteration of the Taliban has paid lip service, albeit in often very contradictory statements, to what it says is a less harsh approach to women than in the 1990s, though much of it seems designed for external consumption during the negotiations in Qatar. The deputy leader, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, public statement that he gave that the kind of women's rights promoted under the US-led intervention only led to immorality and anti-Islamic values is probably more indicative of where the Taliban stand on the issue. So, will the Taliban host groups such as Al-Qaeda? In the peace deal signed with the US last year, the Taliban pledged to fight terrorism and prevent Afghanistan from again becoming a base for attacks. But that is clearly a major worry in the West. The first reaction to the unfolding developments in Afghanistan, India on Monday said it is constantly monitoring the situation and will take all steps to ensure the safety and security of Indian nationals as well as its interests in the country. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India is also in touch with representatives of the Afghan Sikh and Hindu communities in Afghanistan and will facilitate the repatriation of those who wish to leave the country. President Ashraf Ghani, who has fled to Tajikistan on Sunday 15th August as the Taliban reached Kabul for a transfer of power, said that he left Afghanistan in order to avoid violence and bloodshed. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the Taliban's political office on Sunday had declared the war in Afghanistan was over and called for peaceful relations with the international community. What the future holds for Afghanistan is not in our hands, but we can play our part in helping its citizens by spreading awareness, donating whatever resources we can, and in reaching out in whatever way possible for us. It is time we came together to help fellow humans and forgot all about the divisions of border and nations. Because before we are people of a nation, we are humans. तो ये थी आज की कहानी. कमेंट सेक्शन के पास जाकर हमें बताइए कि आपको आज की कहानी कैसी लगी और आप अगली बार हमें से क्या सुनना चाहते हैं. बेल आइकन पे जाके वीडियो को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें. एंड हाँ, डू लाइक, कमेंट एंड शेयर. मिलते हैं अगली बार फिर एक नई कहानी के साथ.